So, welcome, Falchero, David O'Reilly, representing the heroic self-image of the Gael. Again, I've been doing a few things recently, but I felt I should come back to this because my name's David O'Reilly, but when I'm doing this, I'm representing something which I believe people enjoyed looking at. And in a way, this isn't me. This is the heroic self-image. This is the Gael. This is every man's heroic self-image. And I do it. And I believe people like it. So I want to do more of it. So I've been doing a lot of things recently, but obviously not much now. I ran a political campaign recently. But I really feel that this was when I went down to support the free speech rally down outside Google with Gemma. I really felt that I got a great boost from seeing how many people recognized this imagery. You know, how many people looked at it and wanted to see it because they saw something in it which appealed to them, which meant something to their heart. And I want to go into that with you. And but here I am now anyway, in the quiet woods, outdoors, and I want to do more of this. You know, bring ye with me into the Irish countryside. Here the bluebells are just out. Let's see, can you see any of them behind me? I don't know, maybe. But they're all around me anyway, and it's lovely. Sometimes, some years I wouldn't. This is only a few yards away from my own house, and I live in an estate. And some years I wouldn't even come in and see these bluebells, you know. But this year I'm bringing you right into the heart of it with me, and I want to do some real Gaelic stuff and talk about the Gael, talk about the generations of the Gael, and how to succeed as Gaels and to succeed as the Irish, you know. So I'm a father. I'm 55, but I've done one thing which I believe is worth sharing with you, which is I've created another generation of Irish people. You know, I've 4 children. I've a wife that I'm married to her for 25 years this year, and we've been together all that time, and we've shared. Our 2 souls have joined together and created an eternal bond in our children. We united together, me and my wife, and I'm not going to talk about them by name because they're private people, but that's what we've done. And I believe a lot of people want to do that. I believe a lot of people would love to see themselves with a successfully having completed the task of passing something on to the next generation and creating another generation. You know, because if we haven't got another generation of Gaels, where is the last? We're coming close to the last true Gael, and you know, that's not where we're going. We want to succeed. Okay, the world may be overpopulated, but we have a falling birth rate, you know, and there's a whole load of issues around the population of this country. But if you go back to the 30s, 40s and 50s, Irish people were having, an Irish woman was having on average 4.7 children. So that's nearly twice as many as a British Muslim, for example. Now, since the abortion legislation and other things, we've been slipping from about enough to reproduce ourselves, more heading towards the European average of about 1.5, which is, you know, which is not enough to reproduce ourselves. So we love being Irish. People love the Irish. They see in us something which they may have known in themselves. And what I'm representing here is clan culture, family culture. It's not imperial. It's local. it's based on who we are, on our extended families, and on our generations. And when you come to Ireland, you see that in our communities. We, the Gael, have adapted to the modern world, but we've kept a lot of our clan culture, and that's been a success. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about a lot of different things in these live streams. But I suppose what I want to do really now with you is talk to you about how to envision something, how to believe, how to have faith in something you can't see. So to the younger generation of Irish people, I'm saying, like myself as a young lad, looking at the world and thinking, how am I even going to live to be 30? You know, let alone have a successful life and a family and all those other things. Well, I can say to you that that's the importance of having faith. That's the importance of not seeing something, not seeing how it can happen, but believing it could happen, making a vision and a purpose towards that, and actually seeing it happen. So now I'm at the other end of that journey. I've gone a generation at this. You know, I've reared my family. I've my three grown-up children and one still in school. And you know, I thank God, and I thank I'm grateful for a lot of decisions I made, because the decisions you make when you're young give you the future. The choices you make when you're young create your future. So that's what I want to talk about, the choices I made about faith, and I want to pray with you. Yes, I do, because I'm not going to talk for long on this stream. I'm gonna I'll introduce you to some of the stuff here. You know, here I've got some of the equipment of a Gaelic man from maybe the 15th century, 16th century, and this is really when we stopped living as a clan culture, where this environment that we're in now. This was so normal to us. In fact, we lived under the trees. So the rain may not have affected us as much as it does now that the trees are gone. But we fought from the trees, and this was our equipment. These were our helmets, you know, a skean. This is a specifically Irish style of a chief sword. Here's a targe. Irish style, and you can order this stuff on the internet like you can with Vikings or Romans, you know, because for some reason it's not something which the Irish themselves have developed much or gone into much, and for some reason we haven't done the films of St. Patrick, Brian Boru. You know, this imagery is not familiar to everyone because it's not on our TV screens, and we have a job to do, and that's my long-term plan, is to you know, see our nationalist imagery be developed and see it on the screen. Share the stories of Brian Boru, of Cuchulainn, of St. Patrick, of Hugh O'Neill, and how we succeeded to be the longest living clan culture in Europe, just about, and our language. And I hope to do some streams in simple Irish for you, in Gaeilge, and just explore all this stuff and talk about it, because this is what inspires us. You know, when in the end we go back to this, you know, this is who we are, and this means something to us, and that's why it's important. So I want to go over this with you, and really talk about our generations and who we are and what our culture represents, and you know, how it's survived, how it's adapted, and how we need to continue to do that. So I'm talking to the young generation really, because it's daunting. It's a very complex world you are having to negotiate your way into, and didn't have to, it wasn't as complex as it is now. But thank God, you know, not only have I reared a family, the things that I've loved, these things, I've had time for them. I haven't had to sacrifice everything I love to empire, to the crunching system, to the machine, you know. And I want to talk to you about that, about how I've done that, you know. And just to you know, you may I'm a specific character and a specific personality. You may not be like that, and that's all right. But you know, you may be interested in how to adapt to your particular lifestyle, and to fundamentally, you know, succeed at finding a woman, marrying her, creating the next generation of Irish people who are fond of Irish culture, who want to carry on all this stuff. So I've also succeeded to some degree with this stuff. I've been on telly a few times. I'm associated with the heroic self-image of the Gaelic chariot, of the Cuchulainn chariot, you know, and I want to bring you with me on a chariot. I want to put that screen, that camera on my head, and you see how it is to drive a galloping chariot, you know, with the horses and all that stuff. How Cuchulainn saw his heroic self-image, how in the Táin he was the hero, the Irish legendary hero of those sagas. And you know, I've also been, you know, I'm blowing my trumpet a bit here, but I'm just talking about our successes. I was very glad to be part of Ireland's first historic epic, and it was a film, and I won't talk too much about it because I don't want to identify things too much, because of people have their own privacy and their own agendas and different things. So I don't want to really own all this stuff, but I just want to talk to you about how I've succeeded, or how good it's been for me. I mean, talk about adapting to the world, you know. This movie, I was on the credits with 3 guys who were very much a living room feature for every child in Ireland, and those were characters from our modern era. That was the guy who plays the Punisher, Captain America, and Spider-Man. You know, I've been in the on these sets, on film sets, creating this imagery which everybody sees and which inspires people to whatever. I mean, but those guys, those Hollywood guys, were delighted to leave behind them the Hollywood formula and come to Ireland and participate in a very low budget movie about something which was really passionate and really had some raw, beautiful story to it, you know. And of course, I didn't write that, but I was delighted to participate as the evil bowman Greybeard in that, you know. So I'm really talking about our future. I'm talking about our heroic self-image. I'm talking about bringing it on from here. But going back to how it happens, how do we take hold of these things? And I want to bring you out on the Galway hooker, on the Glóteog. A Galway hooker is a boat. It's a traditional Irish boat that I rebuilt. It's the last one of our village, but that's our culture, that's our tradition. I got hold of that rotting hulk on the side of the quay, and I took it and I rebuilt it, and it took me months. And if you're ever watching a movie called I Am Patrick, about St. Patrick, that little Glóteog, that boat that Patrick goes off to France in, that's the boat I rebuilt. That's a local Galway hooker in that film. And I want to bring you out on the water, on the great sea with me. and with the camera strapped to my head so you can see it and you can be with me. Whether you're in America, Australia or England, you know, you can come with me and celebrate the outdoors, the countryside here in Galway, in Ireland, and be part of all that. So here, I'll get back to where I was and I'm going to pray with you for all the success in all of this, because the reason why we haven't succeeded, why we are failing to I suppose to grow, you know, the growth of numbers, just simple growth. You know, we have a passion, we have a desire, and that desire results in children, you know, in a multiplication of ourselves. And listen, we have a stable population, or hopefully we will have a stable population. We're not overpopulating the planet. We want to actually be, how do you say it in modern green terms, sustainable, you know, and so in order to sustain ourselves here and not to flood Ireland with people, you know, but to actually manage the familiarity of it with the people who know it and the people who love it and people who come to us and they can share that with us and love it with us, you know. That's what we're wanting to see. And so believe that in this complicated world, set a vision for yourself, you know, believe that it will happen. I talk to you in these live streams about how to do it. You know, I didn't know how to do it, but I learned how to do it, and I want to share it with you. I want to actually talk to you about women, about marriage, about commitment, about drink, about children, you know, about all these things, about work, about all those things. So you know, in the hope that it will make you successful and make our people successful and make our next generation successful. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to blow this horn one more time. It's always a bit random, and I'm going to pick up the bodhrán and I'm going to drum and chant. I'm going to chant the Lord's Prayer, because this is the basics. You know, this is how many generations of people in this land have lived their lives and found success, have envisioned something, have believed and achieved it, you know. So listen to the prayer, listen to this, and you know, rebuild our culture and rebuild our lives. So here we go. I'll blow the horn one more time because we're getting holy now. Now this is ritual, this is ceremony, you know, this is what we've been needing. So I'm not gonna, I didn't intend to go on for a long time, but I am, thank God. So here we go. This is the Our Father, you know, say it every day because it will bless and make your life live, you know, make it prosper, make it multiply, make it succeed. And that's how we've done it for many years. So here we go. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done upon the earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. God bless him. Here I got Slanga Fall.